We are here with Mike Brunsberg, head coach of the cross-country teams for girls and boys. First meet under your belt. How does it feel, Mike?
It was fun. One thing I really liked about the first meet was it was a small meet, as they will be all year, so you really get to key in on your runners. They don't get lost in the shuffle of hundreds of kids going by. You can spot them across the field and kind of read how they're doing, so it felt like each runner got a little more individual attention this time around, which is good for the first timers.
And you were in Menahga this morning. Talk a little bit about the course.
Well, they had to do with a make-do course because golf course was not available this time of week, so they put together what they could on their complex. It was flat, a lot of turning and stuff, so I think it was probably a difficult read for a runner to know like how far in or how far left they had to the finish distance and all that. So but the finish being on the track was kind of exciting vibe for spectators, and that was cool for the runners because they definitely got some enthusiasm for getting to the end. So
let's start with the girls. Let's talk about the girls team today.
Well, they won. So 3 teams and 2 conference rivals, if you put it that way, OTC and UNC, good running programs, and so we weren't sure how we were going to match up with them, but it ended up being pretty good point-wise, and it just seemed as if some of that can-do spirit of people that have been around the block a few times pulled through when it got tough because it was hot.
Gotta believe the girls were pretty excited to finally compete.
Yeah, it's no track season, and there's only this feels very early in the cross-country season.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like the first meet should be next week, but here we've got one under our belt, and it's a condensed season, so October will be here before you know it.
Kira Sweeney won it for the girls. Talk a little bit about her performance today.
Well, she's a gamer. When she got to the finish line, even though she won by a fairly comfortable margin, she was spent. She had totally left it, and I think that's her mental rehearsing. She sees herself in that position, at the front of the race, oftentimes winning it, and crossing the finish line, having put all the energy that she can put for that day in that spot. So you have to respect that effort, whether it's a first place finisher or anybody in that race. So
the boys, you graduated a few seniors last year, and so you have a smaller team.
Yep.
But let's talk about their race today.
Well, what we saw from the boys was what happens is when your team has contracted and gotten smaller is they look to each other like, okay, this is who we got to pull together. And so we had, was it 2 in the top 10, I think, and they were battling to get into those, I think it was the 3rd and 4th spot, so 2 in the top 5, that's a positive. And a couple that fed off of that energy as well, because the course had a lot of loops, so they had contact with each other and could kind of gauge where their teammates were. And I would dare to say for those 4 racers that ran varsity boys, even though the time on a hot day with a lot of loops and of course, the time isn't going to be a PR, maybe for those 4 boys, that's the best they've raised. So
fantastic.
Yep.
Next Thursday, Wadena Deer Creek hosts the Johanna Olson Memorial Cross Country Meet. Talk a little bit about the teams that'll be here.
Perham and Staples Motley.
Wow.
Some Highway 10 power.
Mm-hmm.
So quality running. We hope to have a quality setup for them and to figure out the new ways that you do races. And the small meet feel is cool. It'll be good, and it's almost kind of like a regular thing that we're looking at too, like Thursdays, you know. Much like an NFL Sunday or whatever. Like, all right, next Thursday, here we go.
Right. Well, if your assistant coach was here, Terry Olson, what would he say about today?
Great day to be a Wolverine.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and of course, you know, he hopped in on his bike and helped out with the race. So he helped not only our runners, but I think he helped the whole overall production. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach, and great day.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.